apparently Adam Willis gives it his seal of approval, the black stamp.
Stamped.
All right. Now I'm gonna get into a comic real quick because, dude, I got to read Tekken, the comic, and I'm a little upset there wasn't like a colon or anything, and subtitles or anything. It was just Tekken, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let me Google this. And see
no
what's good.
cool, like second name.
And all references lead back to Tekken, a manga that was released earlier, which is not this story. This I'm not to say this is a bad story. Just to break this down, this is the characters in the Tekken universe set after the events of Tekken 7. So,
which I'm unfamiliar with, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, my intimacy with the Tekken series, which I knew backwards and forwards up until the storyline of Tekken 4. So 5, I even have 6. I had no idea what was going on because I didn't play 5. I saw 5 in a couple arcades, and it was just like, oh wow, it's really flashy. There's some chick doing capoeira now. What happened to Eddie Gorgo? Where's Moku Jin? And I feel really out of wow. Look at them titties, So it was like it was hard to focus on that sucker.
That's how my brain goes every day.
Yeah, well, apparently in 6 now they got this dude Lars, and he's got like wings in his hair and stuff. It's strange. There's Spider Woman and the whole thing's gone completely off the rails. Mind you, I'm talking about a series that had a couple of actual dinosaurs you could play. Still bears are regular characters, so. But no, I've loved the Tekken series for years, for nigh on 20 plus years now. And this latest this comic includes all the story from all the previous games. So if you're familiar with them, with the actual storylines, which I know you are.
Yeah, total. Yeah. What? Where? I don't know.
All right. Well, Johnny, I know you got my back on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the storylines as far as they are completely ridiculous and don't make any sense, just like the Street Fighter, the Soul Calibur.
Exactly. You say that almost mockingly, but find me a fighting game that has legitimately serious and non-ridiculous, followable, real-world storylines.
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat actually has a decent, somewhat, it makes sense.
Apparently
it's
you
simple.
missed the word realistic and all that.
What? It doesn't need to. It's realistic within the world that they set up, right?
And Mortal Kombat does not make sense. Okay, well, we got Outworld and we're trying to take over. And there's the realm of people that are taking over. Oh, we beat them and we can never go back. But we found a loophole. Now we're going back. They're playing lawyer ball in a fight game. Okay, man. Okay, it's a joke and a half. Tekken, however, it's deeply mired in Japanese culture, and if you look at it from that point of view, before you start going off with the dinosaurs and mystical ninjas and
the dinosaurs lost me for sure.
Yeah, well, they've got kangaroos with boxing gloves, and you got a bear fighting another bear because it's in love with the bear, but also you got the robots, which were good, and then were bad, then were good again, then were bad again, and one was a hybrid gun model, and another one it's weird stuff. Also, kind of tragic, the robot storyline, but at the crux of it is the story of the Mishimas. You get Heihachi Mishima, and then you got his son Kazuya Mishima, and then his son Jin Mishima, and Jin Kazuma. Damn it, Jin Kazama. That's it. It has been a little while for me, but I bring that up because this is the center of the comic story, which is also the center of the game story. At each installment of Tekken, it's been some iteration of the Mishima Corporation going completely left field, and all the characters are tied in some way or another. This book expands on that and creates its own side story around it, where now Jin's gone missing, and other Tekken fighters are broken up into factions. Some are good, some are evil, quote unquote.
It's like the Highlanders.
Yes and no. I mean, honestly, as much as I love Highlander, all the iterations of Highlander, including the ones that I blatantly know do not deserve that love and accolade, it still does not have as rich a character background as the Tekken series does, and that's mostly because I think fighting games have a quicker turnaround to work with than you. How many years was it between Highlander movies versus between Tekken games?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more to work with, is what I'm getting at.
I get you.
So the Tekken characters, I mean, dude, I love this freaking series. First of all, it's the first one that introduced independent buttons for arms instead of doing this whole thing with random stuff in this move and stuff. It's like, no. I do
kind of
this
separated
with
the just mashing of buttons to, hopefully get the desired effect.
Exactly.
Sure.
And dude, I hit this button, it controls the right arm. I hit this button, it controls the left arm. And they made it functional. And it was awesome because the moves are weird, but everything is counterable.
Right.
It's not like these impossible, ridiculous things. You can sidestep and you're good. And
it's very heady that way, you know what I mean? It kind of made you think about gaming differently too.
Well, yeah, no, it was okay. I won't say it was revolutionary. There were other games that did it at the time, but Tekken was just a better designed game, which is why it persevered where other ones failed. No one's talked about Toe Ball #1 forever. Toe Ball #1, the audacity. It's like, no, we're releasing this game, and we're just telling you it's the first one, y'all. There's gonna be more. Yeah, forget you. I believe it was Toe Ball 2. The series didn't last that long. Battle Arena Toshinden was actually the first fighting game for the PlayStation, and the first one that I got, and it was sad. Yeah, but no, Tekken's the one that's outlasted almost all of them. Soul Calibur's still kicking around. But it started off as like 3 different series. There was Soul Blade, Soul Edge. Soul Calibur was not the first run of it. They learned from their mistakes. Tekken's the one that's gone to the degree. I'm harping on random points. Let me get to the actual review because the comic requires you to have that foreknowledge. If I hadn't played the games and known the characters and had a love for it to begin with, I'd be completely lost in this because it does the typical old school comic book thing that we've grown out of, where it just throws a lot of characters at you and, hey, so-and-so, you do this, and then, hey, blank, you do that, and hey, blank, you do this, and you do this, and then within 4 panels, you're just into this random intricate story, which I do like. We're getting some kind of click on the thing here. Which I like because that throws you into a story, but only when you have established characters. I'm tired of seeing movies give me Batman's origin again or Spider-Man's origin again because people know these things. Throw me into a story. But with something like Tekken, if I hadn't played the games, I wouldn't know or care about these characters, and I wouldn't know what they're capable of. So it's just like when they hit me with this, and then just go, that would be a problem. So this one could have stood, and I'm not saying have like, well, this character came from so-and-so and blank and build them up, because that's ridiculous. Johnny, am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you. But at the very least, prepare your story for people who may not be particularly familiar, because a lot of comic books are sold on, that looks like an interesting cover. Let me pick this up and see what it's about. If you're going to have things
definitely,
on the shelf,
I judge books by their covers.
You know what? You can actually do that with comic books.
Yes.
And you used to be able to do that a lot more when the front page would tell you like everything the book's about. With like those old school if you see those old school Superman comics, like that front page was meant to sell the book. So they would have like every bit of the story with like bubbles and things.
Yeah, you know what I hate? One of my biggest pet peeves is at like a bookstore when they have like a great novel and they make it the cover of like the movie they adapted it from. It's like now a major motion picture starring James Franco, and has James Franco on the cover of like a classic book. You're like, what am I looking at?
Well, the biggest tragedy I feel was when that masterpiece of a work. I hope they serve beer in hell.
Just masterpiece. Yeah.
You know what? It wasn't a bad book at the time. At the time, I was at the right age.
Yeah. No, you have to be at the right age and not ever any life experience.
Yeah. It was funny the first time.
Yeah. Okay.
Not really something you go back to, but that first one, I recommend it to cats. But yeah, no, you're right. You are absolutely right. And this is the type of story that would have definitely be sold on a kick-ass cover. And it had kick-ass covers, but like the story, you will have a hard time getting into it if you are not familiar with the characters. Now, if you are, Johnny, I'm talking to you, my friend.
Yep.
If you are familiar with the characters, it starts
the bear, the big giant bear with the shorts.
You're talking about Kuma.
Yep.
Kuma's the big bear. Doesn't necessarily wear shorts all the time.
Also, the angel.
One of the skin.
Not the angel one, but the devil one. That was also my my go-to.
Angel and devil. The alternate palette swaps.
Appropriately named Angel and Devil.
Because they're an actual angel and an actual devil.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have given him like Ezekiel or something like that, or Pazuzu.
No, because the devil is the entity the entity gene that's cursed the Mishima family line. So that's why Heihachi has it, but he's managed to suppress it to just have like evil power in himself. Kazuya, his son, gave himself over to it completely.
This is in the comics?
This is in the story, in the book, in the game, and in the comic.
Oh.
And okay, and that's one of the main one of the primary plot points. Kazuya in the comic is doing random things that you wouldn't understand if you didn't have that bit of foreknowledge from the games. Like, why is he talking to Anna Williams, who works for him on the evil side, while Nina Williams works on the good side?
So
the relationship between them, you'll barely understand if you hadn't watched all those FMVs in the game too.
So you're saying you need to have knowledge prior to jumping into this comic? If you were to jump in without any knowledge, would you be lost?
You would be lost.
Well, that's what we've been talking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you'll read a good story, but you'll have a fully understanding of what you just read. I've seen really confusing movies that I'm like, this was good as hell. I didn't understand a damn thing. I may have to watch it 5 or 6 times to get it. This is one of those, you read it over and over again, and then you can kind of fill in the blanks yourself, like, oh, I guess these characters have a background, and I guess these two met before, and I guess this is the reuniting of so-and-so. If I hadn't played through Tekken 3 a few times, I wouldn't know that Jin Kazama and Ling Xiaoyu were classmates. That was the link between them. They went to the same school. That's how they knew each other outside of the tournament, and why they had a link. And this story starts off, hopefully this isn't a spoiler, the story starts off with that link being a necessary plot point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is very much fan service.
Oh, absolutely. And as a fan, I really did dig it. Now, that's the iffy stuff about it. I don't have anything really bad to say, because I do notice that it's written capably. The story flows well. It's not one that harps on any point for too long, so there's good pacing, and the characters are used mostly used with respect. And I say it ties into their skill set. It shows them according to their storylines in situations that they would fittingly be in. It's not, hey, we have P-Jack the robot at freaking SeaWorld, because it's freaking SeaWorld. None of that BS. I will say that I still have a pet peeve of the way this series has treated Paul Phoenix, because Paul Phoenix for a long time was the primary American character. They have more now.
It was the one with the hair, right? He had really tall hair.
White dude with a blonde flat
Guile.
Top. Yeah. Oh. His they went out of their way to try to make Guile's pale in comparison, because his goes straight up. And remember Kid and Play?
Yeah.
Imagine if Kid was a blonde white dude and just had a lot of Elmer's glue to get that straight up there. That's Paul Phoenix. But his thing is, Paul Phoenix, for the longest time, with the exception of Marshall Lee.
He was probably the best character, Law.
Yeah, with the exception of him, Paul Phoenix is supposedly the best fighter. And they've written him to get to some point, get to a really high point in each of the games, and then lose because of his own ego. And that's been the running gag of Tekken. He's the Dan Hibeki of the Tekken series, And what sucks is, and what really sucks from my point of view is that he was the ultimate winner of Tekken 3 when he beat Ogre, and then he got cocky. I'm the man. Take my prize and go, and left before Ogre came back and transformed into True Ogre. So then it was Jin that defeated True Ogre. So Paul technically won the competition, but no one acknowledged it because he left early, before Ogre transformed into True Ogre, and everyone saw, oh, Jin beat this ultimate blah, 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 blah. And that's why from 4 on, he's they make him look like a homeless dude. Because no one believed him, he lost his reputation, he lost all his money and things, and then he's just been the whipping boy of the series. They continue that in the comic. That's why I brought it up. Because in the comic, it starts off where everyone's making jokes like, I thought you were broke. I thought you were homeless. Oh, you're here now? I guess we're, you're doing charity work.
I don't know why I show up anymore. It's awful.
Yeah, seriously. And it's just this is supposed to be one of the best fighters of the world, and he's just a running gag. The story is written with comedy. It's written with good action. It's written with comedy. Herb, can you turn the... So they focus on that, and that's one of the things I do like about the story, but also irks me about the existing story. It's a thing that's always bothered me. It's not just this book's fault. But at the very least, the writing is more up to date. A lot of the humor and storyline was written from... It was a lot of dad jokes. That was the comedy in the game series for a long time.
Dad jokes.
It was dad style humor. Hey, they're playing around the dojo, but I can't do a flip. Isn't that silly? Dumb stuff. And now it's more legitimate. It's actual funny stuff. Not cornball slapstick.
How's the art style for this? Did they go with is it anime? Is it CG sort of?
It's standard Western comic style, which is good. This could be a lesser stylized Punisher book.
Okay.
You know? So it's not anime. It's not like manga style with like the small characters and like really big hands for no reason.
Did they borrow anything from the game series? Like the game series, or at least the latest iterations of it, are very sort of. They have like neon colors, sort of.
No, they kept it within normal comic bounds. Like this could actually be like hand drawn. The way they have it, and the only thing they took from the modern game series is character design. Which is good. They have accurate character design. So when you see Yoshimitsu, it's not the old school traditional gray suit with the cap and the devil face. It's the more recent tentacle addled Yoshimitsus. Yes. Yeah, his design changes drastically between games. The most recent is more along the lines of like one of the spider symbiotes from the Marvel Universe.
Okay, yeah. Carnage.
It's some wacky stuff. Well, not quite, like, not so jagged. I'll show you a picture. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Figure like a big octopus creature.
Yeah, all right. Cthulhu's Mitsu.
Yeah, close enough. Something like that. Anyways, what it gets down to is it's Tekken the comic. I highly recommend this if you are a Tekken fan. If you're a fan of the games, you played them all, you loved them, you know the backstories, dude, definitely check this out. This is made for you. Good use of the character relationships as well. I love that it starts off with Nina and Anna throwing barbs at each other, and it shows how they're assassins. They're doing assassin stuff outside the tournament. It's not forcing them back into this competition like always. It's not a freaking Dragon Ball comic. Somehow we always got to get back to the competition. It's like, no, that's not the case. So it's Tekken. If you're an existing fan of the series, I highly recommend this. If you are not, maybe check it out. It is a capably written book. The comedy is good. The storyline and progression is good, and it's interesting. I just feel you'd be at a detriment if you didn't have that foreknowledge of the characters, because this is definitely fan service. Like, it's blatant. And honestly, I wish they had given. Now, this is just a personal pet peeve. I definitely give this a thumbs up if you're a fan. Kind of a middling, maybe you should check it out anyways because it's a decent book. If you're not, but I don't like how they treated one of my favorite characters, Paul. Dude, come on, man. He needs to win. He needs it bad. All right, wait.
Catching those L's forever.
Seriously. All right. Well, on the subject, Herb, you played Tekken?
Yeah.
Who was your character, man?
Kazuya.
Kazuya.
Yeah.
Really? You played an evil dude?
Oh, yeah, totally.
As himself or as devil?
No, as himself.
Okay. He's devil you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay, who's your guy then? I gotta know now, since you obviously have favorites.
It was probably devil.
Devil?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all two, it's like two sides of the same coin here. All right, not angel. You didn't like the flying counteract?
It's either the devil or Law, just because he was so cheesy with his little backwards flip kick.
Laws for jive suckers. You can't throw that out there. People. This
that's how you win, man.
Show.
That's how you win.
That's not how you win.
That's how you win. You just keep flip kicking people into the air. You double combo it. You punch them while they're coming down, and then
be ashamed of yourself. All right, I went with 4 key characters. One less so. It's just if I'm playing with friends and I'm having fun, I'll go Tiger Jackson.
Tiger's
come on,
good.
The butterfly collar,
the
platform shoes, the afro. But no. Here's the thing. I noticed myself, so you can tell me if you can point this out or not. My characters were Paul Phoenix, Jin Kazama, and Brian Fury.
Not
Brian Fury is awesome character.
Brian Fury is dope, yeah. But these were all, when you look at their palettes, I noticed all my characters were bikers. Yeah, and when he's not in his gi, Paul Phoenix is all the leather riding gear. Nice. Jin Kazama, same thing. They just ride different bikes. Paul would be a Harley. Jin would be a Yamaha.
So you're like a bike groupie for that game.
It's pure coincidence. They just happen to be ill characters. That's all.
All right.
They don't shame me.
Yeah, I'm not.
My bike glove. I just
what are you into, bro?
I just enjoy something vibrating between my legs. What's wrong with that?
Was there any bikes in the comic?
There was no bikes in the. Oh well, I guess technically there were. It wasn't like any big plot point. It's just like
in the background kind of thing.
Yeah, more often than not, Paul was actually driving a van than riding a bike.
Ah, come on.
Yeah,
a white van. And he was picking up kids.
Well, it was kind of. Wow.
No, he was living in a van down by the river, right? He was out in his luck, right?
Wow.
Homeless.
I'm
driving a van. That makes sense.
I brought it up.
That's character development.
Hey, Wind River. Adam, what do you got? Who's the next review? Adam's going to give us the breakdown of Wind River.
That's a transition. Oh, stop talking about my guy.
I'm drowning here, man.
Oh,
Yo, help
man.
me.